So we looked into other proposed systems of what people have done in the past that doesn't really work, and one of them was using the system that they use for fencing in the Olympics, which requires a electrically conductive jacket and a pressure sensitive tip on the sword. And when the sword makes contact with the jacket, it closes a circuit, and if the circuit is closed for long enough, then that counts as a hit. But this doesn't really work well with Taekwondo, as you only know if, like, it only detects impact. It doesn't detect the force of the impact, which is needed depending on what weight class you are. And it doesn't allow for players to move around the competition floor as much, and it is not viable to put like pressure sensors all over your foot or hands.
We also looked into the problems with designing the system, and there were two main problems. One was synchronizing the signals that the system generated, so the sensors that detect the proximity as well as the impact need to work together in order to send a signal to the software so that the software can determine if a person scores or not. And so with this, there's if say the proximity sensor goes off after the impact or the signals get out of sync, then a scoring hit may not get scored. So there's that, and then there's a choice of processing where you can do multiple processing units for each different sensing system, or one central one that synchronizes everything. And then we also, after that, we looked into the sensing systems, and we found some different sensing systems, and we'll look into those more about which one we want to use in our design. And those were accelerometers, strain gauges, and piezoelectric sensors that they use in the current design.
The current existing system does not have a gyroscopic sensor or any way to determine whether or not the combatant is rotating. So we'd like to add one of those. As such, we've gone through and determined a list of things that we need in order to construct one. These include an Arduino Leonardo board, a gyroscopic sensor, a signal converter for the gyroscopic sensor, a Bluetooth shield, and a power source for this. What we're going to do is we're going to construct this and create a prototype in order to test functionality for testing whether or not the combatant is rotating or not.
And then finally, another thing that we had to look at was how are we going to transmit these signals to and from a computer, which is going to house the software that we eventually write. So there are a few methods that we can use. Arduino boards work especially well with either RF transmission, Wi-Fi, or Bluetooth. Right now I think we are gearing towards Bluetooth transmission, so there are certain boards, Bluetooth shields that you can purchase, and